Hello, I am here with victorious top laner Revenge, days after your victory over CLG. So first of all, congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. It still feels really good, you know. I've been thinking about it every day, so, you know, glad to be doing this now.
Yeah, I know. So I'll put the jokey pen aside because I don't want to have to keep doing that gag. But seriously, in all seriousness, congratulations. I know you've kind of been in this position before where it's like losses kind of can snowball mentality. So just generally, what was it like getting this win for the team? Has it been like a huge like stress relief going into this week of prep?
Yeah, definitely a huge stress relief. I honestly expected us to win sooner against some of our other opponents, so it was a bit unfortunate. I think we've actually had some really sad games so far, but just from like our practice and like I feel like the ceiling of our team is really high. So I was really glad we finally got a win because it like reinforced that to everyone that like, okay, how we're practicing's fine, we're doing things right, we just need to like show up on stage and do it. So I'm glad they like did that versus like a pretty decent team, you know.
So I have to go, and I'm not going to go through the entire play because obviously it's just unfortunate. But the Baron call at 24 minutes in the game, obviously this is days later, so it's not fresh off of on stage. But actually what I want to know is like, what are your comms in that kind of moment, and how did you guys recover from losing that objective?
Well, as a top laner or just as a solo laner, when you're pushing a side lane, which I was at the time, you usually tell your team way in advance that you have a timer. Usually that's move mid, get control, and then usually play on the other side of the map, get deep jungle control, push out other waves, and go back to your waves. But since we had Azir Kindred, I believe, I forgot who mentioned to start Nash, but we just thought we could burst it in time, and then when it started getting lower, we were like, okay, we could just finish it. So it was definitely spontaneous, definitely wasn't like the initial plan. A bit of improvising. Obviously there was a bit of mechanical mistakes that happened, but to be honest, even after we lost to Nash, I knew that like our comp was so much better. And we were just in a way better spot in the game. Like I think their Gwen was a bit too behind as well to deal with me in side lane, and we were already 3 dragons, so like we lost it, but I wasn't really panicking. I was kind of just like, okay, that was really boosted, but it's fine. Like we're still gonna win the game, so it really doesn't matter. And then yeah, so it was okay.
Cool. You already mentioned kind of your role as a top laner in that kind of play. I want to look at top lane specifically because I think a lot of people, myself included, even on broadcast, have some misconceptions about like the state of top lane right now. So I guess like what do you see your role on this team specifically?
I feel like my role more as a top laner this year is to be very stable and winning lane without resources, which I think I'm doing right now, and I think I'll keep doing. So that doesn't mean I can't use resources, but I just feel like it's such a bot-centric meta that I've learned a lot better now how to just win without resources, so I think that'll help our team a lot.
Going forward with IMT, so obviously we talked about your role in the current meta. What do you think, if everything is like firing on all cylinders, the team's doing super well, what kind of team do you look like?
I think we want to show that we're a team of many styles, and I think, you know, obviously it's not really easy to just say what our team identity is, but I feel like at least I know that we'll always have strong laning on our top side, and we will be able to use like our bot advantages. Like especially if our bot is like winning hard, I feel like the game will be really easy. And I want people to see how we're like how we play as a team, especially like our macro and like our just team play in general. I want that to really show this year. I think that will be like our identity, is like our team play.
Okay, cool. Well, congratulations again. I am glad, jokes aside, that we did actually get to catch up and do this interview. If you're also wondering why we're doing it in vlog format, Mo does vlogs that are on Twitter, so go check those out. Thank you so much again. And back to whatever is on the other side of this. I don't actually know because we're shooting it days in advance.
Cool. Bye, guys.
It is the LCS Lounge, and that was great with Revenge, but we wanted to zero in on another Immortals player, the support. So take a look at this play.
Okay. I mean,
right?
Fleshy had a great game.
This was a remarkable play. Yeah, he had a great game, and I think if we pause it here, are you seeing this, Mark?
Oh, I do see that.
This is weird. So
Yes. All right, let's break this down.
Yeah.
Because this is interesting.
we all noticed this during the game.
If you didn't catch this live, get your eyes checked. Look at Kenvi's name.
Yeah.
And look at the spacing between the T and the K. Now,
What's the space?
From the ASCII far left of the K, that's as far left as you can get from the T. But if I bring your eyes down to Fleshy, that's bigger. That's instead of like 1 inch, that's like an inch and a half. No, I think his name is actually Space Fleshy. I think we've been saying it wrong this whole time, Jack. If you look at that, his name is definitely has an extra space, and it should be pronounced Space Fleshy on the cast.
I understand, because yeah, if you look, I didn't know you could put a space in your name.
You can get more in if you just look.
Okay, I didn't know what it was, so I actually caught up with him earlier to ask how to say his name, and I think this makes sense. Let's check it out. How do you say your name?
IMT Tactical.
And you?
IMT Fleshy.
Oh my God!
Oh, it's not Space Fleshy, it's IMT Flesh.
Flesh, you just pause. That makes sense. Raafaa and Kobe, now I know how to say it.
What? So the space is silent? IMT.
Wait, what do you mean the space is silent? The space is always going to be silent.
Yeah.
What else would the space be?
Well, if we had called him IMT space fleshy, but instead they're saying you don't say IMT space fleshy, you say IMT fleshy, right? The pause is significant in there.
Well, you're the play-by-play. You better remember that when you call him out.
Oh, hell no.
I also have another call out. There's a fan here in a Mad Lions Armut jersey.
Oh,
who came up afterwards and was like, yo, I'm here just for Armut. So.
Hell yeah. And shout outs to the Mad Lions fan. There it is. Let's go.
Hey! This is the game for you, baby. They are still working on something up there. So we've got a little bit.
Just working through all.
I guess we'll get an update on what the delay is.
Yeah, maybe the hamster wasn't fed enough.
Maybe they're all just waiting for space. There's like 400 spaces in between start and game. It's start and then you wait.
What is the new space meta that we're entering right now? I feel like then we get into LCK territory since they're like the spacemen over there and the carpet space and everything. But one of the things I wanted to bring up about these two teams, if we're going to be honest about the standings, they're not doing so hot. Immortals picked up their first win last week. Dignitas.
What if we weren't going to be honest about the standings?
Oh.
Let's do that.
Oh, okay.
Let's do that take.
Guys, if you're just tuning in, Immortals and Dignitas, they're the top two teams in the LCS right now. Boom. Let's go.
Immortals did get their first win, of course, as Emily was interviewing Revenge at their...
the little vlog thing.
I don't know what we call it. Their setup that they had there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like their morale definitely has been boosted. Of course, pretty rough opening, a couple weeks, obviously, but definitely really good to try and build on the momentum from a win. So both teams pretty hungry for this one. I don't think anybody expected, Dignitas to be winless at the beginning of the split, considering the names that were signed. Definitely have a lot to reach for here with this lineup, but they're joking around right now. You can see them laughing.
And that's the cool thing too. Recently got to hang out with XU, who's their challengers level jungler, and I was asking, hey, how are things at the dig camp right now? I know, like, going 0-4.
The day camp?
Yeah, no, the dig camp.
Oh, dig camp. Okay.
Yeah, at the dig camp. The day camp. What are we running, a babysitting thing? But he was just mentioning, like, the LCS team is still in high spirits. Santorin is like a very happy-go-lucky dude, always super positive around the team, and always just looking optimistically towards the next game. Even Armut is also a super fun guy to have. So just having that kind of environment, even in the opening 0-4 week, is something to build upon going week 3. Take a look at Golden Guardians. They got clearly through some of the things that they were struggling with, and they just got their first win. Who's to say that Dignitas can't pick up their first win today?
Let's get right into it. Karma and Caitlyn bans here from the side of Immortals. Everybody trying to whittle down on some of these powerful pushing bottom lanes. Ash the response here from Dignitas. Respect band of the Kindred at Kenvi. We've got two very big Kindred players in the LCS, Gyoshik and Kenvi, of course. His most known Academy champion for sure. What are they going to round it out with? Some more bottom lane focus here from Dig. or continue to pinch jungle.
Ooh.
It's the Draven from Tactical. I saw your eyebrow right
Yeah,
there.
I mean, listen, like you can respect the tactical Draven ban, but it didn't do so hot in the first week.
Certainly. It does kind of act as this boost to the Lucian Nami side of it if you really still wanted to keep going with this.
Yeah.
Personally, I have fallen out of love with Lucian Nami after the last round of nerfs as well. And Immortals clearly here have as well. If they go for the Lulu, you expect it to be Lulu Zeri versus Lucian Nami.
That's
Yay!
right. Guys, if you can't tell, Kobe is not actually enthusiastic about,
You shut your mouth! I love me some Zeri Lulu versus Lucian Nami, baby. And they get the Sejuani on the Dignitas side. So we've got the Vi, the Wukong, the Maokai is still available. Whoa. Let's throw down a Maokai, how about? That sounds like an amazing team fight. Immortals couldn't round it out here. Lucian has a hard time fighting around Maokai ultimate.
Yeah, I mean,
short range.
Yeah, short range. You only have so many so much mobility in your kit. You got to be able to dash around it. But Immortals, forego the Maokai. They're going to look for the Cassante for Revenge instead.
It's too juicy. Revenge has had some massive Cassante games for Immortals. Really big performances, even in their loss. I thought he was definitely the star. I would say, on their side.
That very first game against TSM, I mean, Revenge had a massive lead. He was super far ahead of Solo. It was just an unfortunate mid-game throw from them around that third dragon, or second dragon. Happens. But you know what? There's still some things to build off upon. Revenge still having a massive time in most of these solo lanes. We're moving into the second round of pick and bans here, as you called it. Lucian Nami, nothing different there. Dignitas. Stop capping, Kobe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Raafaa, sir. All right, ban here is going to continue to take away jungle then, of course, since Immortals went for the juicy Cassante pick instead of getting their jungle that we were kind of going over. So Dig, presumably, will double ban jungle by, plus I would say ban the Wukong and leave him with the Wukong. Wait, what did I say? Maokai! And then leave him with the Wukong. But either of those two, pretty good bans. Meanwhile, banning away Armut's Gnar in second phase.
You know,
the classic.
The fact that the Gnar made it through the entire first round of ban phase is an evolution in the draft.
Aha.
Already. Immortals taking that further step.
It is, you know, the pick up your top laner, last pick of the first round, and then double ban top lane is also pretty much the only variation that I like on the, you know, not picking jungle plus double bottom lane in the first rounds of your pick phase. I think that one is probably the only other one that's, unless there's something is super OP at the time, I'd say probably 85% of games will probably go that way.
I want to flag this Cassiopeia ban. You know, is that
set up some Ryze pick maybe?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Is going to be in the tank for Ablazeolive. Dignitas, though, hovering this Jayce. It's not the Gnar, but it's something that Armut can get very aggressive with, or at least still provide great mid-game damage with.
So, you can sometimes start to identify, you know, scrim islands, basically, that have emerged. You know, the Lucian Nami bottom side with the Jayce on top side, you know, having two different lanes that you can go to play. We'll see if it works out for Dig this time. Did not work out earlier today. Santorin is on the Sejuani, and he has definitely been a master of Sejuani during his time in the LCS, getting off some really early ganks. He's very creative with it. He's super good at going for the level 3 insta ganks. But wow, we got a lot to catch up on. The Ryze that we were also very, very surprised about.
We had a thought, you know, we had a premonition that it was going to come through, but Kenvi, I mean, Kindred, definitely one of his most known champions, but the other definitely has got to be the Graves. And now, we haven't necessarily seen it do too well in LCS. It does take a little bit longer to kind of come online, but it's all going to be about how well Immortals can force skirmishes around Kenvi. He wants to get aggressive. He wants to invade. He wants to look for control, especially against Santorin on this edge.
I think a lot of that is going to, you know, fall on the shoulders of the Immortals solo laners. Revenge got his Cassante, and Ablazeolive has the Ryze into Azir. If he gets a little bit of push early, help out with those, you know, Graves invades or Graves roams, realm warp down there, make some early plays. Ryze has gotta influence side lanes because of it when it comes to the team fights later on. Jensen is going to farm up to be a powerhouse in those. So we shall see. Can Ablaze start to affect those side lanes? Can he play with jungle? Ryze plus Graves is a really nice combo because, you know, just the slow from Smokescreen can be enough for Ryze to get in range for the Rune Prison combo, and it's a lot of damage, different damage types. We'll see.
That has been the big conundrum for Immortals. This team, talking to their GM, James, just one of the things that they were looking forward to is they know how powerful, how great these individual stars in Kenvi and Fleshy, based on the leagues that they came from, how much hype was delivered around them. And it's like, okay, well, why don't we try to make sure this roster can facilitate them to as possible? They kept Revenge because it was great as a solo laner, obviously, but bringing in Ablazeolive as well, this is someone that is willing to sacrifice resources, and on someone on Ryze, if he can just force prio and move with Kenvi into the jungle whenever he wants to force fights or gain resources and advantages for himself, that has been the formula that Immortals are trying to build up towards in this spring split.
All right, let's get rowdy. Last game of the day. Trying to pull out all the stops. Looks like probably going to go for a delayed invade. They've got a sweeper here on Lulu. Grouping up. Fleshy's got the sweeper. They go for the Graves delayed invade.
Uno, dos. They don't see all of them, though. Looks like Fleshy is just going to take the recall here. Not going to go for super aggressive, just planting that ward deep into the red buff. Santorin not going to be able to at least take it out, but they should know that Immortals will have vision of where Santorin's trying to start.
And a big thing for Graves has always been counter jungling. If the Sejuani goes for the 3-camp gank, you want to know where you're going to be able to exact that payment from. So having the wards on red, they both will know. Sejuani starting opposite side.
Well, we got some time, and everyone just returning to the laning phase is kind of standard as usual. For this Dignitas squad, you know, we were talking about, no one necessarily expected them to be, you know, 0-4 at this point, but there are some great pieces. It's going to be around Santorin and Jensen to see if they can kind of stabilize the early mid game, the skirmishing, then Immortals want to power through and bounce back.
And I want to point out that ward there in the river that was placed by Armut. Armut is doing his job trying to protect the red buff here for Sejuani because they know that Kenvi got the ward onto red. He wards here to make sure they will see if Kenvi goes for the dash over the back of Baron Pit play to try and do that red steal. We saw in the previous game, Vi did that in answer to the Graves invade on red and transfer, but isn't going to be attempted this time around. Regardless, is a really good ward to put to protect your jungle camps there. This way they know that Graves is going for a regular top-down clear.
Oh, look at the differentiating path, though, from Santorin. Instead of just fully committing towards the top side of the jungle, he's waiting in the wings because Ablazeolive might face check here. Kenvi's clearing Raptors, so he's in the area, but not necessarily right there in case Ablazeolive steps too far forward. Santorin is just waiting. He's waiting for the right moment.
Very, very patient.
Is he going to get rewarded? He finally does. Ablazeolive realizes he stepped too far forward. The permafrost and the flash. Oh! That is a clean first blood from Dignitas.
That's why they always tell you patience is a virtue. Santorin, level 3, gank towards mid at Jensen. Set from Champion Select, and he pulls it off. The patience there. They get the flash. They get the kill. Huge change in how you want to be able to play this game now.
That's right.
Really good stuff from these veterans on Dignitas. This is what people wanted to see when they heard these signings. Huge names with LCS history. Santorin and Jensen getting off to an explosive start here. They want to change the narrative coming in here week 3.
And as we talked about before, you know, what were the vibes like over at Dignitas, and just considering they went 0-4 in the first 2 opening weeks, but Santorin, optimistic as ever, changes the game plan, recognizing that, hey, later on, Kenvi and Ablazeolive are going to try to take resources away from me. I need to be proactive now, get Jensen ahead, and that means he will always have to push prio.
And it's a perfect way to attack your opponent's win cons. People always talk about, hey, we need to know our own win cons. You also, it can be a very good strategy to just attack the win cons of your opponents. You know, that Ryze roaming to the side lanes that we were looking for. If you blow his flash, if you attack him really early on, you take that away, and Santorin is keeping up that idea here. wants to make sure that Jensen will be able to scale into a monster.
Oh, Spawn looking almost daringly. Ignite traded for Barrier against Tactical. I thought that was going to be more exciting. Just some of the spells burned here.
Hey, you got me excited. That was great stuff there,
thank
man.
you, Kobe.
You know, that guy was on fire. It was kind of low.
Dude, when anything is on fire, you cannot help but be excited. Kenvi now trying to tussle with Santorin in the top side of the map. Does he have help? No, not really.
Nice.
Nicely done from Santorin.
Yeah, able to secure it. It can be so annoying. Smoke screen, like if it's on the edge and you're not right next to the red buff, it can really mess with your head. But Santorin, steady as ever, able to secure his own red buff in the face of the Graves invade. There are two camps: the Graves players and the people who always have to play against Graves invades. I feel like a lot of people can relate there and cheer on the defender of their own jungle.
And it's always annoying when you are trying to adapt to what the meta calls for, and we are kind of in a tank jungle world. It's not often that you run into more of the aggressive invading carry junglers, but you know, when you do and you're just trying to play for the team, it's like, guys, this Graves is in my jungle, he's taking my stuff, man. But Santorin still continuing on the track of just look how proactive he is. Yes, he's somewhat down farm, but he's not even that far behind, and he's still putting more pressure on the map than Kenvi is.
And he's double the vision score. Clearing out wards around mid, clearing out wards on bottom. You strike fear into your opponents. You get the successful gank off. Then you keep them afraid by taking away their vision and make them think that there are constantly more ganks around the corner.
That's right.
Really doing a very good job. Sejuani has very powerful ganks. As soon as he gets level 6 as well, he can pull a repeat off there. Ablazeolive still quarter of the way through the cooldown of that Ryze flash in mid lane. And Santorin, by keeping the wards clear around mid lane and bottom lane both, securing the objective here. This is the week of the underdogs. This is the week of the comebacks, baby.
Everyone who had a 0-4 start, this is their moment to take their first dub of the split. Something that Kenvi was doing that I thought was interesting. He was hovering mid lane because he knew Ablazeolive's flash timer is still down, and Jensen had enough mana for a full combo trying to Shurima shuffle him potentially into the tower. So he just had to hover, make sure, like, hey, can you get that shoved in safely before you go for a recall?
Yeah. I mean, we talk about Santorin's doing a good job making the opponent laners fearful of his ganks. He's also making Kenvi fearful of them.
All right, Tactical burned once again by Spawn with the Ignite. Kenvi pushes Santorin back, but at least Dignitas are happy that Kenvi can't really get anything done on the bottom side of the map.
Yep. Should be able to defend in there. They're using a lot of his time, too. Kenvi's sticking around to make sure they can push this wave in.
Yeah.
By not having vision of Santorin, the Sejuani, they're like, all right, fine. I have to make sure that you guys can get it in. Wave is pushed right back out here by Spawn and Biofrost. And you can't spend too much time down there. So Kenvi gets his recall off, gets his purchase. Probably heading towards the early Black Cleaver here. Again, can't say it enough. Got extra free 50 HP and 5 more attack damage on it this patch.
It's such a good item, man.
It is juicy, and see how quickly you can get it done. Especially when you're facing Sejuani.
Yeah.
Always love shredding armor.
It just definitely makes sense. I mean, even though Santorin is the sole tank on this front for this team, definitely helps when you can just easily shred armor for the rest of a mostly physical damage composition from Immortals, as Spawn just opens up with the culling, trying to just force this recall in, because now if Dignitas need to fight on this top side of the map, at least bot lane can join, but for them, the Rift Herald's all theirs. They don't even need anyone else to come on over. I mean, Santorin has just been doing such a great job of controlling the map.
Yeah, he for sure is my player of the game thus far. For my first 8.5 minutes, Santorin player of the game. You just saw the gold charts?
Ooh. Jensen wanted to look for that timer, but Ablazeolive had flash up this time.
And the gold charts are what an ideal Sejuani looks like. He got all 3 of the Dignitas carries are top of the gold charts, even though Sejuani is down there at the bottom, is because he's clearing all the vision, pulling off the ganks, setting up the carries to actually be able to carry. And Jensen here, as you mentioned, also now starting to be able to do it by himself. Burns the flash early on Ablaze. And now you know Santorin with the ultimate from Sejuani huge threat. He's actually going up to Armut.
Oh, Armut sidestepping Revenge's approach here. Santorin waiting for a flash from Revenge before committing the Glacial Prison. Goes for the Permafrost. Beautiful patience from Santorin there, and that gives Armut a kill.
Yeah, nicely done there. Melee form from Jayce, so nifty in being able to stack up Sejuani ults, trying to get that little auto off. They get their double stuns, flash down from Revenge, kill on Revenge. Santorin just can't miss.
That's right. Now, we are giving a lot of credit, obviously, to Santorin because it is deserved, but, you know, we want to make sure that people remember that this is what Santorin is kind of known for, even on Team Liquid. And so, during the roster changes during the offseason, a lot of question marks were had about, you know, why is Santorin getting sent off of Team Liquid and having to look for a new home in Dignitas. But, you know, Santorin and Jensen, both of these guys are people that may have been underrated so many times in the past, not giving credit where it is due after, even when the results don't come through, because this is what Santorin would do for Team Liquid last year so many times in the early game.
Yep, playing on the edge of Fog of War right there. Meanwhile, bottom lane, the price of all these proactive plays from the Dignitas jungler, of course, is Kenvi out farming on the Graves. Slow away the Gromp as well. I was thinking maybe they'd be able to work something out with bottom lane, but Biofrost and Spawn not giving them any openings. They both have double summoners up here for the Lucian Nami. So no opportunity for anything bigger than just stealing away the Gromp there for Kenvi.
Yeah.
And with the whip, looks like he actually is going to go for that 4-drinker build you're talking about into some shorter range champions. Even though Lucian is not melee, obviously, is a little bit shorter of range as the AD carries go. So,
I mean, outside of that culling, you've got to get into your 500 range to really do some damage here on the gunslinger. But for Dignitas here, they have control of the map, you know, thanks to Santorin just really pushing the tempo for everyone in place. They have the opportunity to go for the second dragon anytime they want to. I'm just curious if Immortals are concerned at all. Like, obviously, the game hasn't even been close to blown and wide open, but just the control has been impressively on Dignitas' side.
Yep, definitely is going quite nicely for Dig. Approaching their next big power spike, which is going to be the Lucian Gale Force completion. When Spawn gets that, even though Lucian Nami got nerfed, they're still going to have huge burst damage between him and Biofrost. And with the bottom lane, even without Gale Force done, a lot of pressure put on Tactical and Fleshy here. So they push in. Santorin's able to get the second dragon pretty easily. Mid lane has pushed in due to his ganks.
Yep.
Bottom lane pushed in as well. Gives you another easy dragon pickup here. So all these neutral objectives controlled by Santorin, the lanes controlled by him, and it's just a bit of extra jungle camps eaten up by Kenvi and Payment, which has resulted in a pretty early Gore Drinker, 12.5 minutes. Nothing crazy, especially by like solo queue standards.
Sure.
Solo queue, you're getting kills and stuff, super accelerated.
It's a completely different ball game.
Yeah, but we'll see if he can actually get anything done with it.
Now would be the time to try and sync up with some of your other teammates on Immortals to see if you can take advantage of this, you know, massive power spike that you have. You have not only so much ability haste, but, you know, so much upfront damage and the ability to just sustain yourself in really long periods of fights and skirmishes.
Yeah, I'll see, because I don't know if it's gonna be super useful versus like Azir and Jayce. Both are gonna, of course, outrange it and kind of try and poke him down and stuff. And then Lucian with the culling, if he goes rapid fire, I don't know. We will see.
Yeah.
I'm saying things look really dang good for Dignitas right now, though.
It is difficult for Immortals composition at this moment to kind of operate in what Dignitas have just been able to do thanks to Santorin's early efforts already. You talked about the range advantage that Dignitas have. Talk about the lack of engage options that Immortals have. If you're not flanking, you're not getting anywhere into Dignitas' backline.
Gale Force is done for Spawn, so he's fishing around for an opening. Isn't going to find it. Tactical and Fleshy back right out there for Immortals. But this whole game, the minimap has been completely red. Red wards everywhere. The Vision game absolutely dominated by Santorin, by Dignitas. And Armut, quietly, because so much other stuff has been going really well for Dig. Highest gold in the game. Whew. Was able to take the top turret completely with his Jayce up there. So the Armut jersey-wearing fan in the audience certainly happy. There he is.
The happiest Mad Lions Armut fan.
Armut is going to be quite rich. See how early you can get his Muramana and everything, because that poke damage is really going to be painful.
And that's going to be the big thing for Dignitas as they start setting up for the last two objectives, or the last two dragons of the game, which is Hextech Soul. That is a dragon you do not want to give over easily. Immortals, even if you guys are behind, we can imagine that they're going to be trying to throw everything that they've got at that point, even if they're down significant gold and stats. But how are you going to brute force your way through if you have to deal with calling upon entrance? Shock blast from Armut, just Azir holding up the front line with soldiers. It is going to be a tall task for Immortals.
Certainly will be. All right, can they? Nope. Not even gonna give him an opening. They're like, maybe they can.
I saw it in your eyes, Kobe. You're like,
maybe
right,
they could get a
time to lay it up.
All right, well, constant farm from the side of Immortals, but Dignitas, everything else.
Right.
Very, very proactive game from him. Really like the look from Dig, controlling all the neutral objectives, controlling all of the towers as well. Only one secondary turret is left on the map. That is the bottom one. You can see they've already made the rotation. Jensen got put down there since that's where Dig lost their outer, with Tactical being able to push it in off the rotation, trying to keep it a little bit safe there. Azir obviously has the mobility, also can put up his own Azir tower to replace it and buy time for the rest of the team to get there. If there was any strong play from Immortals, and it looks like Kenvi is going to try and play to the bottom side here.
Need to find ways to establish vision control for the dragon, but Santorin strikes first, finds Kenvi. Only doesn't do that much damage on the back end of it, but Immortals force their TP from Revenge. Can't get on top of anyone to look for the all-out.
And look at the price. Armut holds onto his TP, says, you guys are fine, just escape. I will push down mid.
Oh, great bubble from Biofrost from Fog of War. Forces the flash and the heal from Fleshy. And now Spawn needs to be careful about how far Kenvi gets on forward. Ablazeolive also flashing, looking for the root, looking for the damage. Revenge Gale goes all out, looking for Santorin, and Kenvi fires shot and true, landing on the back line, and Santorin goes down. But still, as you called it out before, Kobe, Armut is still pushing in the mid lane. Dragon's not coming up for 25 seconds, so Immortals, all they get from that is just a kill.
Hey, they're on the board though, come on, yeah. They got a kill.
That's one thing. It's something to work with.
They got the kill. The price, of course.
Holistic.
Yeah, baby. They got a kill. The price, like you're saying, is a big price. They use their teleport. They lose their mid-secondary tower. Armut's able to push that one in. The poke is going to be very painful later. Yeah. They are going to stay around the dragon and re-teleport back out with the Blaze to finish it off, though.
Armut has teleport. He's already TPing to the mid lane. Santorin has Glacial Prison once again. Immortals just trying to hold them off as long as they can. Kenvi, oh, he doesn't have smite, but he secures the dragon. They get out at the price of Revenge, giving his life willingly so that they could escape with the third dragon. Looks like Ablazeolive is not going to make it out alive either, and Dignitas, they sacrifice that third dragon, but clean up 2 more kills for themselves.
All right, let's see how much they can actually take with this. Because with Rift Herald, this is going to be a pretty strong push. Outer tower is definitely dead. Secondary charge here, plus trying to keep up pressure with Jayce mid in a 4-1 from Dig. Looking to get even more.
Rift Herald, charge!
Good job, Shelly.
You did a damn good job out there, soldier. All right, Dignitas cleaning up that last tier 2 turret on the bottom side of the map. Looks like they can take their leave. They still have some ultimates to play with the Thal Glacial Prison. You definitely don't want to be overextending your leave here.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to give any more money back. Good call out. And we did get to see Kenvi dashing in and getting a 3-person board drinker and then finishing off the kill with the ultimate there. So it is, more gold onto the graves. Now going for that Black Cleaver. This is our second attempt to call it the Black Cleaver, baby. Still gonna be the case here. Still gonna work on it. I just think that Dignitas here, with the amount of gold that their carries got,
yes,
we'll see if it's possible to really navigate those team fights later.
Yeah.
For Kenvi, for Immortals. Jensen here still very, very happy with the way this game is going on the Azir. 2 core items completed. He's got the extra Shadow Flame penetration on top of his Sork shoes here, so gonna do a lot of damage to so many champions that have no magic resistance, namely the Zeri and the Graves. That is gonna be the big weakness there for the Graves. You know, short range, has to deal with all this poke from the Azir.
Yeah. You know, it's one thing for Graves to brute force their way through a lot of physical damage as you're just constantly stacking up that true grit. Doesn't work against magic damage. You don't get a magic resist off of that. So Kenvi gonna have to pick his fights wisely and pick his targets as well wisely. For Dignitas, I mean, there's a theory that maybe if you find these carries isolated, pick them off, and don't get that proper 5-on-5 for Dignitas, and Immortals can kind of sneak their way back into the game, overcome this gold deficit. But it's, once again, what are your pick tools for Immortals? It's all single target, so you have to pick and choose. You can't just get them all.
You could do the 5-person Realm Warp right on top of somebody's head. How about
Bam!
that? The 5-person surprise party.
I love it.
Throw them a surprise party. It looks like Dignitas walk over a ward, so this party in the river will not be a surprise, as they don't have a sweeper up.
Uh-oh.
It's not a surprise, but it might be effective.
Brother Ablazeolive might be gone for this world. A nice movement speed for the face rush. Don't sidestep the glacial prison. Okay, nice moves out there.
Phase rush in action from Ablaze is able to juke out the Sejuani ult. The tower's not able to juke though.
Damn.
Terrible tower jukes.
Could you imagine if turrets could uproot themselves and start walking around?
Give him some Scuttle Crab AI or something.
Dude, that would be crazy.
All right, no counter push here allowed as Armut's going to teleport in, push Revenge off the tower as well, and Kenvi's not done. Okay.
Hey, we talked about isolated targets. Kenvi finds himself a fish. Tactical slowing it down with the zap of the wall. Biofrost still has flash. He's just deciding whether he wants to use it, but great bubble. He gets to save his own flash. He's just fine.
Yep, Biofrost cool under pressure. Walks his way out. They've got plenty of vision still leading up to the Baron as well, so they saw the follow-up was pretty far away, and it was just the threat of Kenvi. So they don't blow anything extra. Now Dignitas, with bottom lane fully open here all the way up to the inhibitor turret, they have to deal... Jensen is the only one with teleport, so it'd be kind of difficult here for Armut to actually go down. They might want to do a 4-1 with Jensen. Looks like with Dragon spawning, though, they're just going to push out mid and bottom, set up to secure number 3. They let the previous number 3 go over to Immortals after that nice long chase that Immortals were able to force, but they don't want to let that continue to happen.
Thankfully for Immortals, the fact that Dignitas are not on soul point means that...
Kenvi's in.
Oh, okay, Biofrost still has flash. Nice bubble, but Kenvi dodges it with the collateral damage and also getting some damage into the front line. And now they have to back off here.
That was some crazy confidence from Kenvi. I'll say that. Not done.
Glacial Prison goes wide. No one gets hit by it, stunned by it. Revenge is now on the other side of the wall, but because he already used all out, he can move over, and he has teleport. He's contemplating whether he wants to reposition here.
Man, that was crazy. Ablaze was still in base, too. He's walked his way up to the rest of the team now, though. Full 10-on-10.
Biofrost cannot step up here. He can only offer so much. The Tidal Wave is the only thing that he can really do. He's waiting for the angle to split up Immortals. Tidal Wave comes through. Kenvi can't get into the back line quite yet. Santorin, the rest of Dignitas burn down the dragon. Clean stuff from Dignitas. Immortals can't get anything done.
Getting exciting there for a little bit. In the end, they do bully them off. Dignitas, good job zoning them out, pulling the dragon over. They've got the Scuttle Crab vision. Ablazeolive tries to roam warp to join with the rest of the team, but the poke damage from Armut, just a couple of those shock blasts, man. This is 3 core items for Armut completed now, and they're gonna hex skate back over to the Baron, try and do a similar dance. Kenvi, though, that's what really got me pumping at the beginning. He just blind dashed over the wall onto Biofrost, who was able to dodge his way back out.
It's small moments like that is why all of the fans that started watching him during his days of 100 Thieves Next in 2020 and watching his career and progression go over get excited for it. It's like, yes, Kenvi's not having the greatest time adjusting to LCS, but it's small moments. Maybe they look to pick off Santorin, but the culling from Spawn. Completely chunks out Kenvi on the front lines. Jungler for jungler is traded, but Dignitas have the advantageous positioning and health bar status as they look to continue pushing them down mid lane.
No smites available, so we're just going to push right down mid lane here for Dignitas. Again, Armut poke is massive, so as long as they group up and use that, they've got a huge advantage, and they're going to use it to push in mid, get mid lane priority, and then sweep away all the wards from Baron. Oh, they actually don't even sweep them away. They leave these wards up. They don't have sweepers available.
Is that PM?
There's one control ward in Biofrost inventory that they could move. Again, no smites.
Yeah, okay, this is gonna be huge. They flash forward on the Jensen. Armut trying to follow up. Tidal Wave gets 2 knocked-ups down. Ablazeolive is traded, but Spawn still lives and holds on thanks to Biofrost healing, and Santorin is back. But if Santorin's here, then Kenvi's gotta be here as well, because both of them died at the same time. And both teams are gonna take a reset. They're not gonna fight over the Baron.
This is a fun one, though. These couple wards here sticking around in the river, let them know they were on it. And Dignitas, although they had a lot of damage in there, thinking maybe, okay, let's go bluff it. We can try and burn it down. If they come, then they turn around, trade some kills here. Both mid laners now going down in the aftermath. But with teleport from Ablazeolive, Dignitas, no, we've got no smite. Let's not chance it. Ablazeolive flashes forward, trying to get onto the 2 carries back there. He did get the rune prison. They get the kill onto Azir with tactical, also full committing. Flashes from all the carries to get back there and kind of assassinate him, but
whoa, Kenvi just right in Spawn's face. Answers back with the culling. Bubble keeps him in place so that Kenvi has to soak up all of that damage. The rest of Immortals, they're getting antsy. I mean, this is, you're calling it out before Kobe. Both of these teams are starting to really throw haymakers at each other. It was all early game, all Dignitas, but Immortals finally coming into their own as most of their item spikes are coming online. Glacial Prisons, Fleshy is able to get out. No dice there, but it is a flash that is burned.
And it's getting kind of scary here for them because Ablaze tactical, no summoner spells for either of them. Dignitas just going to hard push forward, corral them in their own side of the map, and then return to that Baron. They've got massive Baron damage. If they could fully clear out the last remaining control ward there through the blue jungle as well, they could just rinse and repeat that strategy over and over. There is one Scryer's trinket ward here that is available on Ablazeolive. So level 16 Ryze with Hex Gates as well. You can always Hex Gate really quickly back out on the map.
Yeah.
So Immortals,
they're just holding them. Oh, just look at the way that the rest of Armut, Biofrost, and Spawn are just holding the lines while Jensen and Santorin try to burn down the Baron. 6,000 HP already just between the 2 of them, but Immortals have brute forced their way through the other 3 members of Dignitas, and Biofrost has nowhere else to run. The Baron is a flub. Dignitas have to scram, all out for revenge, has isolated but Jensen, but quick moves as he shifts on over back to his team. Dignitas repositioned safely, but they've already lost on their support, whereas now Immortals, they want to press their luck.
yeah, with a little bit of extra Baron damage going down, Biofrost is the only casualty. Immortals keeping it up.
They don't even want to commit to the Baron. They're trying to force Santorin off. They're split. 7,000 HP. Ablazeolive is already all over the wall. Tactical and the rest of Immortals all join the fray. Tactical is going to soar and takes out both Armut and Spawn. And that's a significant number advantage. Immortals, do they turn back?
Immortals get back on that Baron. Oh, they're going to go for the dragon instead. They don't want to give over the soul to Dignitas. Okay, so they make the call. We're going to deny the dragon soul, pick this thing up, not go for Baron. Honestly, I do think that is the better call because they wouldn't be able to end the game with the Baron buff. And this is playing is playing the longer game. Yeah, Santorin's not able to get there quite in time.
The way the observers were zooming in, I was like, did they see the future? Is he gonna Arctic Assault into Flash and just smite it? That would have been some crazy stuff.
Ooh, we are in for the long haul here, baby.
I'm down.
This one is getting much more exciting here. So Immortals, they know they've got to get in there quickly. Dignitas has so much damage, they're burning it down. Kenvi charges ahead, gets really low. They early use the Lulu ult on him, but Revenge is able to just beat down Biofrost with the help of the Baron damage attacking him, as he was the last straggler out of that Baron pit. Jensen, thankfully for Dignitas, was able to slip over the wall and survive, but still, it's Immortals starting up on the Baron again to look for the chase. Tactical is the one who takes things into his own hands, charges forward. Here's the reaction from our Armut.
Just barely getting out alive. It's like, okay, we only lost one, guys. It's not that bad.
We can still do it. Winnable, winnable. Dignitas still ahead.
Armut fishing for some damage. Accelerated shock blast. One goes wide. The non-empower one only just tickles Revenge a little bit, but it's really the damage from Jensen that is starting to make a mark, and Dignitas just playing around with their poke, playing with their range, trying to take advantage and take space against an IMT.
And the most important space is the space by Baron. Really, really good wards here from Immortals. They're looking at the Hex Gate directly behind Baron. They've got the Pixel Brush. Santorin trying to take it out, though. He gets 2 of the 3. Ablazeolive could Realm Warp right behind them from mid lane, too. Look at the mini-map as Tactical is trying to get a tower while they threaten the Baron vision here. So Dignitas, they lose out a little bit more. Tactical gets solo gold on the outer tower top side, while Ablaze is holding middle. Immortals clawing their way step by step back into this game.
Ablazeolive is cut off here, though. Has to take care of mid-prio, as I think it was Revenge that ate the Glacial Prison from Santorin. Not quite isolated here, but Revenge already... Oh, that's a lot of damage from Spawn! Almost finds Fleshy in the backline. Tidal Wave is gonna clip him. He moves out of the way, but Fleshy might not get out alive on this one, but the rest of Dignitas can't commit forward, because Spawn is also sub 50% HP. This fight is so close, Kobe. Santorin wants to press the charge forward. Ablazeolive now looking for the flank, but it's just a Realm Warp. It's not even a real Realm Warp, it's just a bait. It just pushes off Dignitas. My God, Kobe! They do not want to overcommit!
And the Baron still stands. All right, this is going to buy Fleshy time to go back to base. Heals up in the fountain. Santorin coming in to try and clear out that vision, but it's going to be 2 more recalls. Hex Gates means everybody can get back in time as well, so we can just keep this party rocking.
It's just this constant do-si-do around Baron until someone calls chicken and just pulls out. I mean, this is...
Okay, here's what we look for then. Big stopwatches. Next team fight is going to have some big plays. We've got Tactical already playing really aggressively on the Zeri. Next fight, he's going to have Flash, Barrier, and a stopwatch available. Meanwhile, Jensen on this Azir. When's the big team fight winning Azir sweep, you ask? Well. He also has Flash, ult, and stopwatch available.
And he can make it safely.
Who will get the better of the other carry?
And Immortals doing such a great job to keep themselves in this game, considering that Dignitas had probably one of their cleanest early games so far of the Spring Split. Dignitas want this win. They need this win, the statement win, to just clean out everything so that they can bounce back after the 0-4 start. As, oh, Spawn almost getting caught out here, getting bursted down. The damage from Tactical is spattering. Good flash forward. Armut tries to get in there with the hammer to the skies. All out from Revenge. Finds Santorin the flash. He still can't get away. Immortals, they're turning this fight around.
They're turning the game around, baby. Immortals, 5 members strong, gonna head over to the Baron. What an assassination. So Spawn wanted to get value out of his culling, even though he was chunked down to 100 HP, and Tactical said, not on my watch. The poke damage lands in the backline, though.
Big damage from Armut, but Kenvi is still alive and healthy. He's still got a smite. 2,000 HP. They get the smite. It's clean. The rest of Immortals, they're blinking low, but they might just be able to get out. Dignitas have to stop it, and they can't, because it's the Realm from Ablazeolive. Immortals now control this game.
Oh my goodness. Immortals, such a tenacious team here, never giving up. And look at this. So Revenge is able to get a Q3 onto Spawn to start this out, I believe. He goes in, yeah, with the footwork dash into Q3, the knockback onto Spawn, they chunk him down to 100 HP, and look at this, he wants culling damage. Technical says, get the hell back in the fountain. Flashes on him, not on my watch, no culling for you, sir. Then they got Revenge, another big Cassante play. They're trying to chase him down through their own jungle here, though.
4,000 on the Dragon. Santorin, can he get in there? No. Immortals secure the 3rd Hextech Dragon for themselves. And now Immortals They've already burned a lot of tools. They don't want to continue to fight any further. They got what they came for. Kobe!
Oh my.
Tenacity is the key that you said for Immortals, how tenacious they are. I mean, it plays up to the name. They never say die. No matter how awry the early game goes, they have somehow clawed their way back into this game.
Oh my goodness. Revenge and these Cassante picks that he's getting as well. Big stuff from him. And the last one, you know, getting spawned is one thing. And then he also got Santorin with the all-out, using his flash for the positioning. Earned Immortals this Baron, and they get some good value out of it. 2.6K, the Baron power play. Not an award-winning Baron power play, but a decent one at that, and a much-needed one for Immortals. And Revenge is going to make it a little bit more worth here. The Demolish proc almost taking down another tower.
And you can just imagine that, especially with a team like Immortals, who, especially from, you know, Revenge's point of view, you can see that the comms might be super momentum driven. That when a team like this that has struggled to figure out what the voice comm structure is going to be like, but when things are going good and things are swinging their way, then that's when everything starts going well, and it's just confidence, belief, trust in each other over a team that, you know, being put together, they had the vision, it hasn't worked out for them always well, but ever since the last win, as shaky as it was, it's the push in the right direction.
And that direction is forward here, right behind Tactical. 5 kills for him. There's a giant gold bounty on Tactical's head. It's massive. They dodge out on the tidal wave.
Watch Santorin. Maybe looking for a flank and Tactical steps too far forward. He knows that he does not have flash. Santorin looks, but Revenge, good body block as Kenvi snipes out Armut. That's 5-4 now for Immortals as they look to pressure the second tier turret.
Kenvi just demolished Armut in the side there on the little wall. Blasts him down, gets the Gore Drinker value as well, and Immortals are going to plow further ahead, deeper into Dignitas territory.
Immortals just stepping on forward. Ablazeolive already pushing on the top side of the map. They're splitting the attention of Dignitas at the moment. One of these turrets might just fall, but Baron buff seems to have run out for Immortals. Now they're taking their resets here. Revenge looking for one, but he has teleport to join the fray if they need him again.
Tactical, so much power here on the Zeri, a lot riding on his shoulders. Has not died yet in this game. Immortal's gonna take the breather. Whew. Top side, a lot of work was done by Ablazeolive in that split push that you're mentioning. The tower really low. It will slowly heal up, but only to 33% health. Meanwhile, bottom lane has already been destroyed completely, so that inhibitor is fully exposed. There's one real big step left for Immortals to take. They've fully taken back this gold lead into their terms, 4,000 now on their side. 1 minute, 40 seconds left on the soul, though. The final dragon here. One team will get a soul.
I feel like that could be the last fight of the game, where both Immortals and Dignitas just throw everything that they have, and with an open lane through the bottom side of the map as well, that could be Immortals' window to close out the game. If Dignitas are the ones successful in claiming that Hextech soul, momentum is completely changed once again after losing it just several minutes ago.
All right. That pretty dark leading up to it too. Baron spawn time is very close to the Dragon spawn time. Of course, Dragon goes down way quicker, so gonna want to concentrate your vision over there towards that area. Santorin going to help Biofrost in cleaning those wards in preparation for what might be the ultimate team fight of this game. Certainly will have huge rewards.
For a second, I thought Santorin would pull the Glacial Prison right on top of Fleshy, but probably just did not have information. Oh, Kenvi! Oh, that's a bad place to be, buddy. Flash already burned. Cleanse used. I believe it was the Mikhails from Fleshy, making sure his jungler doesn't go down right before the Hextech Soul. But that's a huge opportunity for Dignitas now.
Interesting, too, because that was also Sejuani ultimate. Jensen's getting chunked out a little bit.
Immortals, but Revenge is here looking to start things off. Gargo Stoneplate gives him a massive shield. Oh my god, look at the damage! Tactical Revenge just plowing through Dignitas! And now the rest of them are scattered. They don't have a front line anymore. Dignitas on the cusp of trying to retreat it all. Immortals somehow just clawed their
take your Nexus instead. Spawn, the only hope for Dig.
Spawn, the last one standing, but I don't know how much he can do realistically against all 5 members of Immortals. Never say die if you are an Immortals fan, as your team just picked up their 2nd win of the Spring Split.
K'Sante and Zeri, baby, Immortals. They weather the storm. Santorin did such a good job the early game for Dignitas. Dignitas ruled the early game. All the lanes winning, pushing ahead, all the neutral objectives, all the vision in the map, but Immortals never gave up. Tactical, continued farming on the Zeri. He goes deathless the whole game.
That's right.
Following up on these plays, and Revenge, a lot of very important key K'Sante plays, K'Sante picks.
And just huge props to Tactical as well. I mean, you called it before, went deathless the entire game. It was just kind of silently farming and picking up kills here and there. It never was super flashy up until that moment where he flashed forward, taking out Spawn under tower, stepping a little too far forward. And that's huge for someone like Tactical, who, you know, if we're going to be honest, had an unimpressive showing in week 1, twice given the Draven, nothing really to come through it. They banned the Draven away, trying to prep up Spawn for this Lucian pick, and Tactical says, that's fine, give me the Zeri, I'm going to farm up, and I'm going to be a monster in the late game, and he delivered.
Congrats to Revenge, getting that dub on the K'Sante. Good stuff from him. Looking forward to the next vlog.
That's gonna be a happy vlog.
And how they can snowball.
No sad Revenge vlogs either. We love when Revenge gets to be joyous in those ones. That is really, really nice stuff from Immortals all around. Good bounce back. I mean, strength of schedule, you know, could be more towards their side of the map, but as well, Immortals, this is a team that has been trying a lot of different things this year. Obviously, the first week didn't go so well, but, you know, this is the bounce back, and this is the confidence, a statement win that you can say. It's just like, hey, guys, we have something good going on. We just need to fine-tune it even further and further.
Resilience is key. This is definitely a mental game. Immortals have shown time and time again, you know, they will not give up. They are a resilient team, and pulling this one back was definitely impressive. Just under 40 minutes to make the full comeback here for them.
Yeah.
I don't know what the extent of the gold swing from the highest peak of Dignitas lead to the end game Immortals lead here.
Yeah.
But it was definitely up there. That was a huge swing.
Yeah.
Well played by them.
Very awesome swing. And also, you know, all the amateur fans being able to see Kenvi just have such a remarkable game on Graves, just frontlining and kind of being full on Evil Knievel Daredevil, just taking up so much damage as well. That was like a big thing that I was getting concerned about, because there's definitely a lot of times where Kenvi just tanked the full culling, like, you need to back up at some point, right? But
he sniped multiple kills with his ultimates.
That's right.
He got the 1v1 solo basically on Armut at the end there as well. Big stuff, yeah.
Yeah, well, congrats to Immortals. But for now, we're going to hand it over to the LCS Lounge to close out day 1 of week 3.
Welcome back to the LCS Lounge. Tactical is actually in the room right over there.
Oh, it's coming.
He'll be joining us in a few seconds.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's right there. He's waving at us right now, I promise. I'm not trolling. So yeah, interesting day games. I just wanted to say I went 5 for 5 with prediction.
Yes, you did.
Is that this rarely happens.
I had a really bad day.
Take a look at our predictions.
I believe.
Judge us.
Look at the one non-believer.
Yeah.
Former coach.
That is weird. That is weird.
Kind of messed up.
What do you have to say to Jet now that he didn't believe in you?
I mean, it's definitely not IMT Jet.
Oh, man.
1 for 4.
I love the fact that we did say at the very top of the show that this was going to be one of the hardest days to kind of predict. So Emily nailing it. Congratulations on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, any day is just as hard as any other day.
No, I don't think that's how that works. I don't think that's how that works. Welcome.
Tactical's
Thank
here.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That was a fun game to play.
Was it?
Honestly, it was, yeah.
Nice.
Because I was playing Zeri and I got 6 items and they couldn't do anything.
Yeah, going into this, did you kind of just take a look at your draft and you're like, even with obviously rough early game, kind of rough mid game, what were the comms in that kind of like, oh, just wait it out, we have better scaling, or what?
So the early game was pretty rough for us. We did get further behind than, I mean, we weren't supposed to really get behind at all, considering our champions. But I think I was doing pretty well. I was feeling really comfortable most of the game.
Nice.
I think we figured out how to play the map. Like, for example, we were obviously getting outranged on mid, so we had to play through the side wave for objectives. I think we figured out well. I think we team fought decently. That's something we've been focusing a lot on.
Nice.
So I'm happy to see that we had improvements on stage as well. Yeah.
So we saw your scoreline there. You had an insane scoreline, but you're playing Zeri.
Yeah.
So who do you think should have been the player of the game? We were all debating who it should be. There's some votes for you, some votes for Kenvi, because in the mid game, even though he didn't find a lot of kills, he was being very aggro and like buying space in a lot of situations. Revenge was really good in team fights. If you were casting a vote for player of the game, and you can say yourself, who do you think
be objective.
Be objective. Objectively.
Of course.
Who would you give it to?
Ooh,
It's a hard call.
I'd say it's a toss-up between Revenge and me.
Yeah?
I like that.
My opinion.
But because Revenge entered a few times in early lane,
He was,
Then you give it to yourself.
I'd say I kept us. I feel like I had very good comms this game.
Yeah.
I had us like leveled, you know. I had us grounded. I feel like we had like no one was really panicking.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously we're nervous. The game could explode at any moment, but like, we were all level-headed. I kept saying what I need in fights. Yeah.
did you have to clear comms at all? Because when you see fights like this, or the one at top, like Baron, there were a lot of fights, really scrappy. Jad did mention something where it was like, it felt like a Game 5 scrims kind of block.
Yeah, Game 5 LCS has like Game 5 scrim vibes.
Yes.
But like, did it feel hard? Because you said the comms were calm. Like, did you have to make it calm, or was it calm from the get-go?
Okay, when I say calm, maybe calm's not the right word.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, during fights, we're like yelling like champion names.
Yes.
We're not like screaming at the top of our lungs. We're just saying like, I'd say we're being loud, but not saying any unnecessary information.
And just focusing on what you have to focus on. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Nice.
I heard a lot. Oh, you go first.
Well, we want you to stick around to go over the recap of the day, so we're just gonna like be rolling highlights from game 24.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you what it's been like playing with Fleshy, because I've seen you in like some revenge vlogs, but you've had quite the journey, right? You started with Core JJ.
Yes.
I mean, before that, you started with Treats, right, in TSM Academy. Bunch of supports last year as well. So what's Fleshy been like?
I really like Fleshy. I think I could tell from the get-go that he has really good game sense. I was surprised, honestly, because he's like one of the lesser experienced players in our team, right? But I was really surprised at the game sense that he has. I think it's really good and has a good direction. And I'm excited to see him improve, because welcome to the bigger leagues, I guess.
Hell yeah, man. 2 and 3 as well. That's a good bounce back so far.
Yeah.
So I've been hearing personally, as we kind of start rolling in the clips, I'll just ask one more question, a little bit selfish of me, but like, you guys have been doing quite well behind the scenes. Like, at least from the vlogs I've been hearing, like, oh, you guys have been pretty positive about like scrims and stuff like that. Have you had difficulties in terms of like translating that environment onto the stage? What do you think has been hard?
I think that the first week and the first game of second week, we were not improved yet.
Yeah.
But I think now, today, I think this game is an example, our game was an example of improvement.
Yeah.
We worked on our team fighting a lot more. Even though maybe it wasn't the cleanest, we got it in the end. I think if we keep up what we're doing right now, we can keep improving on stage.
Sweet, I love hearing it.
How much do you watch the games on game day? Your game 5, you know, are you watching these games as they play out, or are you guys like locked in on prep and stuff?
We'll like do the prep, and then if there's like free time, we'll just look at the games. Like, for example, in the back room, we'll just be watching the game, and then, okay, guys, we have our presentation for our match coming up.
Yeah.
And then we'll just do a presentation, and then we'll go back to the game after we're done.
Did you see this beauty? That was
Oh, yes, I saw it. It was really clean.
Oh my God, bro.
Very clean.
Damn. That was hilarious.
Yeah, this felt like the closest. Well, your game was obviously very close, but this was the other really close one of the day, back and forth between EG and FlyQuest. Again, Prince just popping off on the Caitlyn. You know, as a fellow AD carry player, do you think he is like the clear standout, or do you think it's closer than it's initially appearing on stage?
Okay, so I couldn't watch today's game really because I was traveling to the studio. But so far, it seems like he's just the most solid AD carry out of everyone.
Who else do you got up there?
I think Berserker is really good too.
Okay. Yeah.
I respect him a lot.
Jan is a name that I've actually been hearing a little bit. Have you been able to play against Jan a little bit? Just kind of seeing where he's at?
Other than the match we had, we
Yeah.
haven't had too much experience.
That makes
Team
sense.
Liquid, so I can't really think about opinion yet.
That makes sense. Taking a look at this game. Which game is this one again?
This is the Team Liquid 100 Thieves one.
Yeah.
I watched this game.
Yeah? You have any thoughts on their bot 2v2?
Yeah, give us the breakdown.
Oh, that was a really good timing with Buzio right here.
Right, holding his Q
Yeah,
until the end of the
yeah.
spell shield. That was sick.
That was good.
And then the wards betrayed Jan.
Yes, that's so sad.
One thing I really liked about this game from 100 Thieves is that it felt like how they played around Herald and mostly Dragon felt really calm. That's something that, specifically there was like bot Dragon when they didn't have any vision of it, but they were slowly pushing for it. Don't really see that a lot from teams. You usually will lose like a lot of HP on your front line to just try and get like push for vision. Felt like that's one thing that they've been really good at. Poza did mention about just the fact that they have been really focusing on the fundamentals.
Summit Watch, ooh,
Man, he's
starting
a,
up Boostio
he's a
there
maniac,
again.
and that can mean multiple different things. Like
That's true.
sometimes it's for the good, but he's had a couple of just huge whoopsie teleports.
Whoopsie teleports.
already.
He had a couple whoopsies in this game too. It was another, I don't know. Summit's maybe the most interesting player to watch in the LCS. I'll say that.
This game definitely actually came down. As much as I talked about, who he's gonna roam like from this lane, this actually came down to just several 2v2 wins in the early game.
Actually, yeah, Poom got killed 2 times within the lane in this matchup. How many times have you actually played this matchup specifically? Ezreal Karma versus Caitlyn Lux.
It's such a classic, honestly.
Yeah.
It'll always happen whenever Caitlyn is meta. Like,
Yeah.
it'll just come back no matter what.
And you feel more comfortable in the Ezreal Karma side? Or is it
I
the
think
opposite
it's kind of a skill matchup,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Okay.
It also depends on what you do level 1. Like, if you push him out, it can help the lane a lot.
side? Yeah,
I'd say skill matchup for the most part.
that makes sense. And I mean, that was the best performance from Stixxay Huhi. Huhi had pretty good games up until this point, so it must be frustrating that he wasn't able to pick up a win until now, but like that laning phase was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a tough strength of schedule that they had. Opening week, Jet, you were talking about the top of the Golden Guardians had played like a lot of really difficult teams.
Yeah.
Corey had showed up late. And
Who was it?
you
They
can see-
played FlyQuest, C9, EG, and I think TL. And like 100's the only team they haven't played. It's been tough.
Yeah. So strength of schedule has been weird for a lot of teams right now.
Well, including them, right? Including you.
Yeah.
You
We have,
guys had a really tough schedule.
On Super Week, I believe, we have, was it C9, EG,
go C9,
and
yeah.
100? I forgot what the third team.
Yeah, your
That's next
Super
week.
Week is going to be
Ooh.
big. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
perfect.
Your Super Week is going to be a big one.
Quickly go.
Easy trio for Immortals. Become the contenders.
So you guys are feeling really, so because you mentioned on the you guys are focusing on team fighting primarily, and it seems like you guys are getting a lot of practice on stage. What's the progression of your improvements felt like? Has it been like, wow, we're improving quickly? Or is it just like step by step?
I'd say step by step.
Mhm.
Like, for example, like week 1, week 2, we focus on the early a lot more.
Yeah.
And then we transitioned to team fighting, which was more this week. But so it's been kind of like we work on one thing and then another. I feel like we're making progress in each area slowly, so it's pretty good so far.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I wanted to ask specifically was team fighting, because I feel like team fighting is something that everyone says they want to practice, but the way that scrims go, you have so much more of an opportunity to repeat really specific situations in like early to mid, whereas team fighting, especially like mid to late game, is typically when massive 5v5s happen. So like, how are you guys kind of trying to replicate that?
So it's not about like always replicating the exact fights. I just want everyone to know what their job is in the fight, or like, and who our key targets are, how to win, what's our win con for the fight. Like for this game, it was like trying to get on the backline, for example, in the mid game. Like we got on Azir. It's really hard to replicate the same exact fights. So as long as we're on the same page and we can like think about it during a match, that's all I ask for.
And honestly, you said that for this game, that it would be either you or Revenge getting player of the game. But in terms of like just overall scrim environment, team environment, who is the player? Who's the MVP in that front? You can say it yourself, but if you're gonna say yourself, you can also say someone else.
I'd say I like Revenge a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's good.
Just
for
good
that.
vibes?
Yeah, just
All
good
right.
vibes, solid, 10, 10, 10.
Yeah.
Those scores, yeah.
Personal feedback too is you got that guy looking over your monitor. is that the case? The top laner's like, yeah, I think you could take this trade. So that's the case?
No, it's
No? Okay. I was interested. I was like, yep. That makes a lot of sense. Well, first of all, congratulations on the win. So that was a lot of win.
And we're going to pull up the standings, the current standings. Now.
Let's take a look
You
at
guys
what you guys
moved up a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice. Oh, wow. There's
position,
a
man.
monster there.
Bear.
Yeah.
He's coming for top 5, man.
Yeah,
Immortals.
let's go.
We might have to. See if you guys put us all to shame with the power rankings. It's we had not expected as much, but you guys have actually come out and looked really good. I think so far, definitely more impressive than I think a lot of us were expecting. So, breaking into the rest of the top 5 is pretty tough with EG, C9, 100 Thieves, and FlyQuest.
Yeah, biggest surprise for me so far, probably be 100 Thieves, only because it's been consistent for us to rate them at 4th and below, mostly 4th, because you have a lot of respect for EG. EG did have a really tough game today versus FlyQuest. The other big surprise, your opponents in Dignitas at 0-5 right now. They've just been not having a good time so far. It's been a rough one for them. I mean, them and Golden Guardians didn't have key members. At least Golden Guardians did have Gory. Dignitas still waiting for Ignar, so that has to play a factor.
Yeah. And we'll pull up the schedule for tomorrow. Do you know who you're playing?
Now you do.
Trick question.
Golden Guardian.
All right, he got it. He looked away. So yeah, we're kicking it off with 100 Thieves, FlyQuest, TSM versus CLG, EG versus C9, Dignitas versus Team Liquid Honda, and then GG versus IMT. Good job. Sometimes players do not know who they're playing the next day.
He definitely didn't look,
you guys
right?
were like
No,
really
actually,
focused.
remembered. Like, I had to remember it all.
Okay.
Guaranteed 3-3 coming up.
Eddie, last question. What's the rest of the night look like for you? Do you have a victory meal plan?
Maybe I'll just...
Your go-to?
Not really, honestly. I might just go back and play some more League.
Okay.
Okay, we're saving the team dinner until after the week is done.
Of course, for the 2-0.
Of course,
There you
okay,
go.
of course. That makes sense, that makes sense.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And that will do it for the LCS for today. Have a great night, everyone. And we'll catch you tomorrow.
5 for 5 predictions.
Nice.
Top laner yet again. It's Fandango, but Fudge has already died. Berserker got a Quadra. Maple's the last man standing. C9. They want it. They want it. Little help. Maple's gonna try to fight all 4. Blabber goes in with the spell shield. He's able to find the fear. Deflex coming in for the taunt. Laser over the wall. Berserker firing, 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 firing. Pentakill for the Cloud9 AD carry.
Give him the pentakill.
Penta. He in 4 seconds. Just kill him, maybe. But get Penta. Maybe just don't die?
Don't die, just don't die.
Hey, please don't die. Very nice. Very nice. Wow.
Good job,
Threat to die, but this is risky. JoJo's arrived. Oh, Vikla, man, that was not lined up the way they needed it to be. Spica tried to grab, but he won't get it. Spica's trying to cover now. He's going to be in the front. Much on his own, but Impact makes his way into the back line. Prince grabs the kill and Inspire, and Evil Geniuses will find no more. Prince flashes forward and grabs a double kill. Now looking to find even more after, with the shutdown from Vulcan over the wall. FBI is still alive, but Impact flashes in to guarantee that won't last. Oh. Well, bottom side, 2v2. They got the damage on Core JJ, and Bucio's gonna take the kill. Now ready with the piercing arrow. Spell shield is done, but Yawn outplays it to take him out. It'll be a 1-for-1 with those two, but a 2-for-1 overall.
Azir no flash. Look what over here. Silver. We can win, we win. Good. It's flash, right there, flash. No flash, no flash. Maokai no flash. Maokai has flash. Peter. Good job.
River isolated Palafox and goes through the Emperor's Divide with a well-timed cease and desist. Dokla still overextended as well. CLG cannot save him. Licorice is teleporting in. They should be. Whoa, wait. Oh! But he flashed back in and he secures the Baron. Now Golden Guardians potentially have baited CLG far too deep into the river. They take him out. They're split. 7,000 HP. Ablazeolive is already on over the wall. Tactical and the rest of Immortals all join the fray. Tactical is going to soar and takes out both Armut and Spawn. Gargo Stoneplate gives him a massive shield. Oh my god, look at the damage! Tactical Revenge just plowing through Dignitas. And now the rest of them are scattered. They don't have a front line anymore. Dignitas on the cusp of trying to retreat it all.